This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Audible. Coming up on this episode of TRS, we take a look at the comic book, The Umbrella Academy.
Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
We're back with some comics. We've been talking a lot in the last few months about the big new releases of comics, but we wanted to check in as we have so often in the past and talk about a good trade that you might want to check out and put on your shelf or not, depending on what you guys think. And we're talking about Umbrella Academy, and it's from Gabriel Ba is the artist, and Gerard Way is the writer. Now, you may know that name as a rock star. He actually is the frontman for My Chemical Romance. And I remember when this comic book was first coming out, people were like, the My Chemical Romance guy?
It's like when
He's gonna be a comic book writer?
It's like Justin Timberlake in a movie.
Social Network or something?
Yeah, or before that. And what was the guy? Oh, in comic book adaptation, Lock and Key, pop star that you guys didn't know.
The actor in the pilot.
Yeah,
version.
the actor in the pilot.
Anywho, we like people in their very well-defined things, and we don't let them stray.
Right.
But it's interesting
Boxes
that
are made for people.
yes. So this is Umbrella Academy. What is the Umbrella Academy? Well, it's a very difficult book to describe succinctly because it has so many wildly different ideas. Basically, it's a dysfunctional family of what used to be child superheroes, and we get a little taste of what it was like when they were child superheroes. They were all very special kids that all had different superpowers that were collected by this alien kind of godfather figure to them and raised in a very dysfunctional way to fight crime and do things. And now here we are 20 odd years later, and they've all gone their separate ways but are coming back together because this godfather character, this father figure to all of them, has died. So we see shades of what happened to them since they were kids. We see actual adventures when they were kids. We see sort of them reuniting and fighting another adventure together, even though they're all sort of bitter and have all these issues. It's a very dense comic in terms of ideas because there's sci-fi elements, there's fantasy elements, there's all kinds of craziness going on. All of that leads me to believe that it's probably not the kind of thing that would be up your alley, Dan Trachtenberg from the Totally Rad Show.
No, I've heard of him.
But perhaps I'm wrong. We love Gabriel Ba as evidenced by our falling over ourselves, one might say tripping on Daytripper.
Yeah, the art, I thought the art in Umbrella Academy is spectacular.
It really is.
Great art, really great art.
But how do you feel about My Chemical Romance?
I kind of dug My Chemical Romance.
Black Parade? You're into that?
But it didn't love. In fact, their music videos were directed by Mark Webb, who's now Spider-Man and
That's
Spider-Man
right.
Summer.
He's not actually Spider-Man. He's directing it.
Well, we don't know if that's not
You
true.
don't know that. I enjoyed Umbrella Academy. It reminded me of it. Tonally, it's a little bit like it's very Fable-y, not the comic book Fable, but genre-wise Fable-y. It's got that kind of feels like a Shel Silverstein, Dr. Seuss.
Parable kind of deal?
Yeah,
fairy
and
tale?
like Pushing Daisies, like it has like you could the comic book could be narrated by Jim Dale, you know,
Yeah.
like, and it has that overarching like whimsical Winnie the Pooh, all those other references I mentioned. Meets Watchmen, you know, it's because it does have so many different genres, and it's constantly doing outside the box things. The through line was a little tough for me to find. You know, I kind of was always like, what is actually happening right now? What am I invested in? Towards the end of the first trade, this first 6-issue arc, I found the humanity in it. You know, I sort of found some stronger dramatic moments that were a little bit more grounded. And made me enjoy the comic way more. but there was also some over the top action too.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of got everything, and I love that tone. I love that the villain is the outcast amongst the outcasts.
Yeah.
Although that's kind of X-Men-y. But I dug it.
So this is a recommend for you.
It's a recommend. Look, I mean, it won an Eisner, right? So I think.
Well, yeah, it did, but it doesn't mean you have to.
No, I know, but I
didn't
mean,
win
I
a
feel like
Trachtenberg yet.
I feel like. I think it fits in. If you shop at Hot Topic, you're gonna love this comic.
Well, that's almost damning praise.
I think it really speaks to that audience. And no, I think it speaks to the.
If you're a douchebag.
No. I think it speaks to the people who embrace outcastism and going against the grain and feeling like they're all being a part of something. Yeah.
Gotcha. Outcastration.
Yeah. I think
Alex.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen you shop at Hot Topic. What do you think?
Well, I have shopped at Hot Topic, but not recently.
Just for choke collars.
And yes, mainly. I thought you said joke collars, and I was like, yes, joke collars. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Dan that, my biggest problem with it's gorgeous, and my biggest problem with this was it had too many amazing ideas. There were things that were, there's like this one issue, but it's sort of only half the issue where you find out that they have this nemesis called Dr. Terminal or Mr. Terminal or something. And the whole concept is he has a terminal disease that he feeds by killing people. So it's like if he doesn't kill people, he will die.
Yeah.
Genius.
Right.
That's like
It's
6
like a
pages.
throwaway idea.
It's like
for
6
this book.
pages.
Yeah.
Genius. I'm like, I want that. And my biggest problem with the book was that they kept doing it. Was like, here's an amazing idea, but we're just going to kind of give you the surface of the idea, and then we're going to move on to something completely different. And I was so frustrated with this book because I was like, my God, the first issue is this guy collects babies that all have superpowers. And then the next is, okay, well, 25 years after all the awesome things that must have amazingly happened with this guy who collected 7 babies who are superheroes.
It's not even just a guy. It's an alien.
know.
It's like, well.
But then they're like, well, we're not going to show you any of that stuff. And I was like, but that. So I felt like this was sort of one constant, amazing tease. And it never, but
like the teas you might find in Hot Topic.
exactly, yes, some
Teas.
sort of skull,
Like baby
t-shirts.
teas, skull teas.
So for me, I found it really sort of frustrating to read because I would oscillate between utter, unabashed awe of the ideas to this fully flabbergasted, almost to the point of being mad that those ideas weren't being continued to be given to me.
So did you
know what I mean?
get some enjoyment out of the
There's
ride
definitely
of it?
yeah. Oh well, there's definitely enjoyment. I mean, it's really sort of like taking like 20 of the best sci-fi novels and like ripping a chapter out of each and reading them and being like, that was so many amazing novels that I didn't enjoy.
It's funny that you say that because I was going to describe it as a shotgun blast to the face of
And
like
that's exactly
fantasy.
what it is. And I think overall it's an enjoyable experience, albeit one that is a little bit meandering at times. And like Dan, I had a really hard time figuring out what it was that I was supposed to think was actually happening. And because so much stuff was happening and things were changing so fast, it was a little bit hard to follow.
I really liked it for all the reasons that you guys have said that it's unruly. I loved how rough around the edges it was. I loved how it's just blasting you with all these just crazy ideas and now there's a monkey that talks for some reason and there's a monocle.
There's a lot
like,
of monkeys that talk.
And there's a monocle that like can see the truth of something, and we get that for like a page and a half.
He doesn't even say. He just says, "Well, I was able to see that because of the monocle."
No.
Like,
we see that. We see through his We see
right. Yeah.
like that beautiful art of like his entire life story in like a panel.
Yeah.
But I had a blast. I really feel like you that by the end, the experience of that 6-issue arc informed so much of the beginning that where I was a little uncertain and didn't know what to think going in, by the end I really liked the whole thing, and it's definitely the kind of thing I don't think would be as good in issues as it is in a collected volume. This is only the first volume that we've read so far, so there's more of this book, and it's interesting to see this writer come on the scene and feel like he's been pent up almost, and he's just like gushing with all these freaking ideas that he's had. So I recommend it. I think it's certainly the art is fantastic,
and it's definitely a unique read.
Yeah,
you will not.
I think it's
read
inspiring
anything.
in a way. It's like wow, look at all these fresh concepts that have never really been brought to life before, and they're so dense. There's so many of them in such a small place. So.
Yeah.
Dan agrees. He's not.
I agree. Completely.
Yeah. So Umbrella Academy. That's
the Apocalypse Suite, I think, is the first one.
Yeah, is the first trade. Check it out.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Jeff Cannata.
Audible.com is
there
one
it
of my
is.
favorite sponsors. They bring you into the world of audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. That means books that are read to you. They have over 100,000 titles to choose from. You can load them onto your iPod or any MP3 player, play them back anywhere and anytime, and get any book from any genre. Over 100,000 titles. There's so much to choose from. You're gonna love it. You got thriller, science fiction, comedy, business, so much more. You go to audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad. We'll get you a free audiobook so you can check it out and see the magical world of spoken word entertainment. I love it.
Hear the magical world.
Hear the magical word.
Oh, actually, you see it in your mind.
In your mind's
See
eye.
it in your mind's eye.
And you smell it.
No, it's not.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
We just
You
saw.
smell it.
We just saw. It's tasty. We just saw a trailer for Girl with a Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah.
And
Probably on
I
Audible.
listened to that book on audio.
Wow.
So great way to catch up on movies that might be coming out that you want to see that were based on books. It's really, really cool.
Amazing.
Go there, audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad.
Perfect. All right, people, it's that time for us to leave. See you tomorrow.
Check out tomorrow's show for the return of Title Fight.
Today's Twitter question is sent in by @KeithK Tover. As a kid, what was your first / most memorable movie / show, a lot of slashes, you watched that your parents wouldn't have allowed you to?
Ooh.
Good question, Daniel Trachtenberg.
Some moment in the old childhood.
The first ones that come to mind are Spaceballs.
Really? Your
Yeah.
parents were like
Nope.
PG?
It's
couldn't do it?
PG-13.
Oh.
And Double Impact, Van Damme movie, I ordered on my pay-per-view as if they wouldn't see the bill, but they didn't bring it up with me. I was so scared. And Terminator 2, they told me, you're not allowed to see it, and I went over to my friend's house and saw
Amazing.
it.
Jeff?
I have two. I remember going over to my next door neighbor's house and they were watching Poltergeist, and I remember walking in the middle of it and seeing the part with the face that goes, "Wah!" and being so scared that I was hiding behind the couch.
Yep.
And then the one that I actually saw from start to finish, because I was over at my friend's house in 6th grade, and his dad was a divorced dad, and he just like wanted to buy his son's love, and so he like let him watch whatever he wanted. It was Running Scared.
Yeah.
The movie with the
Billy
tap
Crystal and Pryor.
yeah.
Oh no, Gregory Hines.
Gregory
Hines and Billy Crystal.
And Billy Crystal.
Okay, is that
Yeah,
what
and
it
they
is?
get those shirts that have boobs on them,
Yeah.
and they're walking
I never
around.
saw it.
It was
It's
great
fun.
entertainment.
For me, RoboCop was one,
yeah.
and the second one was actually more of an experience that I had, which was it was my birthday and we were having a bunch of people over, and we went to Errol's to rent a movie, and I of course gravitated towards the ninja movies because it was a big genre in the 80s. It was this sort of like American ninja and all that stuff.
ninja, yeah.
So we get this ninja movie. And my mom was like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's just ninjas. It's fine. It's just ninjas. And she was like, okay.
Decapitations of ninjas.
Nope.
Boob.
Full frontal boobage.
Yes!
Within the first like 3 minutes. And we were all like, we'll just get through this part. And she was like, nope, yank. This is not happening. Best birthday ever. Thank you @KeithK Tover.